Continuing here. So, in a nutshell, in light of how utterly, roundly, thoroughly, deliberately, I strongly contend, deliberately, obviously, that the Labor Department has been remiss at giving commensurate cost of living adjustments, which, when they do that, you understand what they've done here? Mathematically speaking, there's no difference if your cost of living stayed the same and your pay kept going down. Okay, there's absolutely no mathematical difference than if your cost of living goes up and you don't get a commensurate cost of living adjustment. Nobody can argue that. That's fact. That's math. Okay, that's the truth. I'm not a stupid man. Okay, I can do basic math, and a child can understand this. Okay, that's how they steal the labor of people, and it's indefensible. And anybody that defends this crony capitalism that's inducing all this socialist sympathy, okay, and a lot of people associate socialism with egalitarianism, which I say, hey, I beg to differ. At least let's look at the empirical evidence of what so-called socialism does. Okay, let's look at the policies that people are talking about here. Okay, I can't speak for AOC. That's her nickname now, right? Alexandria Ortega Cortez, whatever. Ocasio-Cortez. Said, Alex mocking her because she believes in free education and free health care and all this. Let people do what they want with their money. You could get more education on your own. If you want to learn something, you'll learn it on your own better than any university or college. Of course, you won't have the credentials, right? You want to play by the game, the higher education game, and get all the acronyms behind your name. But, hey, plenty of people have been high school dropouts and they become millionaires, so multimillionaires. Okay, so you can learn what you want on your own through entrepreneurship. But look, where are you going to get the money and what's going to happen, what the effect in society, that's far more important. And besides that, all these people that claim to be capitalists and they're not, they're crony cap, they're defending it, okay, just by not talking about how it has wreaked havoc in our land and that how bad that bailout of '08 was and how it went against the will of over 90% of the American people, and then we call it democracy, and we're talking about people that have socialist bents and capitalist bents and conservative bents and liberal bents and democratic bents and Republican bents. It went against all of our will. So let's figure out that we've got one whole hell of a lot more in common, that our desires is we all want creature comfort. We all want a sense of security and freedom, okay? And if you would withhold that from another man, I hate to be you at Judgment Day. But that's what you're saying when you oppose a basic universal income on the grounds that, hey, we don't need so many people working out there and the long hours and all these jobs that revolve around the problems persisting of desperate poverty primarily. It is the most important thing that the evildoers have to keep intact. Their money has been a very powerful tool in oppressing people, very powerful through millennia, thousands of years this crap has been going on. But knowledge is reaching a critical mass and people aren't going to take it anymore. Okay, and it's going to start working in a very good, positive way. Okay, and that's what needs to happen. The wealth of this planet needs to be shared. It's not a conservative liberal thing. It's a thus saith the Lord thing. And like I said, I am a fiscal conservative, and I know the effect, and you can't prove me wrong, that a basic universal income would have. It'd be a fantastic effect on society. Fantastic effect all the way around. And if you oppose that, I don't want to be you, man. And you say it's all right, you justify people born with hereditary wealth. How do you justify that? That nobody gets to give their inheritance to their kids who did nothing for that money. No, of course not. No, it goes back in the coffers, back into the treasury. That's what we should have. I mean, you talk about being fair and justice and all this stuff. Well, let's get real. Let's get honest. Let's play hardball. Stop playing tiddlywinks. Let's get crazy. Let's get truthful. Let's get pragmatic and practical and real, okay? I'm a realist. That's right. And I prescribe to reality. And that's the reality I know. It's the one that's dictated from above. And it's in your scriptures. And it's in books like The Wealth of Nations, written by Adam Smith over 200 years ago, talking about the dawn of the industrial age and how this was playing itself out from what he was observing. Okay? It's the same crap we got today as the oppression, man. It's just stealing people's wealth. This is how you steal their wealth, is stealing their labor. The greatest resource there is a willing workforce. But what they've done is they've normalized slavery through allowing the minimum wage to fall far behind the true cost of living. Okay, and this is on purpose. There's no way incompetence plays any role in this at all. This is by design. This is engineered. This is by deliberation. So let's just set that straight. But, still I want this theme today, this special Valentine's edition and video series. And, these affairs of the heart are really powerful, It's the only force more powerful than money. It really is. That's the only thing. That is more powerful than money is affairs of the heart. Love. Love is more powerful than money. And that's a beautiful thing. It's like a fail-safe God built into this whole thing. And, I really do think that men need to learn to be deferent to women and really acknowledge the fact that when the chips are down, we know who's the boss. The woman is the boss. And what she says, it's it. She's the authority, man. In a relationship, the woman, what she says, you listen to it. I don't care how softly and gently she says it. Listen. Okay, she is the other side of God. Okay, that's it. And for a man to ever find wholeness, he's going to have to find, or he's going to have to certainly seek to find his better half. Okay, and that is the woman. So anyhow, I'm at a good point in my life just because I feel like I may finally be able to make a little peace with letting go of my wife. And it had something to do with the conversation I had to do with my daughter, Kristen, a couple months back. And I think she knows, at least she knows, how much I tried to reconcile and how she shouldn't blame her mom and how her mom had a rough upbringing. Her mom was molested when she was a child. She was living in Oregon. I actually lived up near where her mom was. I got to spend some time with her mom and her stepdad up in the Monmouth Independence area of Oregon. We lived up there. We were living together in Cottonwood, and then we moved up there. And before we moved down to back down to Cottonwood, and then from there over to Humboldt County, Trinidad, and from there down to Scotts Valley in the Santa Cruz area. But she had it tough. Her mom had an aneurysm when she was pretty young, so she wasn't all, her faculties weren't all there mentally. And my wife, I think she was to a degree embarrassed because her mom was kind of unrestrained in her speech, and it was a tough pill to swallow for her. So she had a tough childhood. Her parents got divorced when she was pretty young, and her dad was kind of out there, just focused on making tons of money, and so he kind of neglected her. But I think we were meant to meet. It turned out that just by happenstance, I met her through a friend of the family that knew, they knew each other, had girlfriends in common, and then another incident that led me to believe it was meant to be. It was fate or something, but totally unconnected fellow that apparently my former wife's dad was dating, and turned out he was a childhood friend of mine, Brett Caparel, and so it was the strangest thing that I really thought that we were meant to be, And well, when a woman gives you kids, it kind of was meant to be, I think, So anyhow, she needs some understanding, and my daughters need to give her that understanding that it. And leaving me, she was 100% fully justified in leaving me. I was a very, very, very failed at being a good partner, good husband. And, she didn't have to, and I would have improved. I would have gotten better, but that's neither here nor there now. And I just need to let go. And I just absolutely figured out that I've got to be in love. I've got to love somebody. And even if it is unrequited, like I pointed out, like the thinkers of our day and past days believe that it's better to try and fail than to never even try. And that's what I'm doing now. And it's given me a sense of letting go and just say, I got to move on, man. I've got to move on. It's getting late in the stage, late in the game here. And, who knows when the return of Christ is, or, huge, big changes like so many people are predicting. Oh, we're going to have civil war and all this crap, which I don't believe. But we could have some significant sea changes that start showing God starts shaking the tree like it talks about in Scripture, and brings on this tribulation period where people see, hey, you know what? It's hitting the fan, man. And, there's big changes socially, politically, economically speaking, worldwide, and domestically here in America. And we need those changes. And, some people even think they're the big losers and they're all traumatized about it, thinking, oh, what? An economic reset? What do you mean, a new currency? What the hell? JFK was trying to do this in 1963. No big deal. It's not so radical. A bailout of '08, you think that was less radical? That was repugnant, appalling that they bailed out the criminals and let all these people lose their homes. Appalling. So, yeah, we need big changes, and we're going to see big changes. So, anyhow, I really felt like I needed to apologize to Lauren. And remember, Lauren, listen, this is between you and I. If in the remote chance you're listening even, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I came on too strong. And the last thing I want to do is make you uncomfortable and certainly not embarrass you. And nobody knows. Only we know. Okay, so let's leave it at that. And I just think you're awesome. You're exquisite beauty. And I could tell you're a woman I could easily be happy with, very satisfied with for the rest of my life. And on paper or not, man, I'm down. I'm in. This puppy love, it really is just a sense of, and it's beautiful. It just brings back such good memories of those other times in my life when I felt that pure, innocent, very natural, very organic, very godly puppy love. And I just have that. I just want to cuddle you. How bad, am I a bad guy, to want to hold you and protect you and comfort you and encourage you and your dreams and aspirations. If you wanted children, I'm in a great position to take care of them. I know how to change a diaper, believe me. But listen, it's neither here nor there. And like I said, it's fine. I'm completely fine if I'm rebuffed and ignored. But if she wants to do anything about it, she knows how to get a hold of me. One last thing about this. Listen, and all I'm doing, I know there's a whole lot of guys probably way better and more attractive than I for so many reasons that have thrown their name in the hat for this lady. She's that cute. She's that desirable. That, just one last thing to say about it. What happened was I had a dream, and it wasn't what you think, but it was just we were alone together. I'm not going to say if we had our clothes on or not. That's not important. That's not the point here. But she brushed up against me, and it was just absolutely electric. And I don't know if you've ever had a dream like that. Anybody? It's just, wow, man. You can't forget it. Because most dreams we don't remember. We all know. But when something like that happens and it's thinking, oh my God, thank you. That was a really nice dream. It just reminds a man that, how a woman makes you feel. I mean, it's just such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful thing. I mean, the changes that happen in me when I'm in love is just mind-blowing. It's staggering. It's phenomenal. And I want that again. I crave that. I need that. I yearn for that. And that's a good, healthy thing. And I need to just stay on track and just don't ever, be delusional again that I can ever be self-satisfied. In a moment of weakness, something happens, but hey, I know that, everything that I do on my own as a bachelor, single man, it's empty, it's vapid. It's never going to satisfy the way just having a sweetheart, having nothing to do with sex at all. Not the carnal thing. It's nothing about that. Not to begin with, anyhow. You know what? I mean, if that happens, if it balloons into mushrooms into that, that's icing on the cake, and that's super beautiful. It's a godly instinct, and just a beautiful thing. But it's beyond that. The love is beyond that. The attraction is beyond that. The puppy love is beyond that. That's what's pure and innocent and beautiful, and that's all I have to give and offer. So that's my pitch. But I will leave you alone, sweetheart. I promise. This is the end of it, and